Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the DC Direct Justice League Green Lantern action figure. Depicted from the pages of the New 52, Green Lantern comes to us in the new style setup of the DC Direct boxes, where you get a much larger white box instead of a carded figure. Again, they're trying to drive home the notion that these are now collectible, basically collectible art. This is also the correct price that Spot paid for this, $24.99. Is it worth $24.99? Well, we certainly will find out when we get this opened up. Turn around on the side, we got a picture of the figure, which I gotta say, from a picture standpoint, the figure looks all right. On the back, DC Comics superstars Jeff Johns and Jim Lee make history in a universe where superheroes are still feared and a man with powers from beyond the stars known as Green Lantern will join the world's greatest heroes to protect Earth. Other figures coming soon, as indicated on the package here. We've got Justice League The Flash in August 2012 and Justice League Parademon in August 2012, both of which were available at my local comic book store when I picked this up. The Flash, as much as of a Flash fan as I am, gotta say the Flash figure looked really bad. Speaking of really bad, not so much really bad, but some of the figures here, again, I just have not warmed up to them. Superman I have yet to really pick up. The Wonder Woman I certainly would consider getting. Surprisingly, the Aquaman figure looked really nice as well. And then we've got some figures here. The Batman, I'm still, being such a huge Batman fan, I'm still disappointed with that figure. Just the decision to make everything so panel-lined. However, for product info and more, you can go to dccomics.com. Or if you want to locate a comic shop, you can certainly go to comicsshoplocator.com as well. I am going to take myself a bit of a break, get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look at the DC Comics, the New 52 Green Lantern. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. For a $24.99 price point, one thing I would have really liked if they had included with this figure is a display stand. I wouldn't say that the figure necessarily needs a display stand, but for the sole purpose of the fact that you have a $25 figure, something other than just this figure would have been a nice welcome. The Batman also shared the same problem, and by problem again, the fact that this figure is $24.99 could have really used a little something more than just the figure. Just something to give to the fans and say, thank you for purchasing our product. Here's a stand, free of charge. Though it's not really free of charge, it's included in the price of the figure. Having said that, I can tell you this is a gorgeous figure. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's move the camera up just a slight bit. Let's zoom in. I think the one thing can be said for this particular figure is, unlike the Batman, which I'm sure you've, having now seen the review that I did of him. If you haven't, go check it out. It's over there. Go check it out. The one thing I had serious problem with the Batman was the fact that his redesign in the comics. First of all, I don't even like the redesign. That panel lining is just, it's wretched. Now, whereas the Batman, unfortunately, was, I guess, an accurate representation of it in the comics, Green Lantern, luckily, doesn't have as much of that panel lining. So really, at first glance, you're dealing with pretty much a straight Green Lantern figure. I suppose looking at it, you probably would not distinguish, aside from a few of the lines in the shouldering and a couple of lines on the back here, you probably could not distinguish this particular Green Lantern from any Green Lantern that has come before it. That's one thing I really like. And again, sadly, the Batman does not have that. This Batman being right here. Even the head on Batman is just terrible. I mean, it's such a gorgeous figure, sculpt-wise, but the lining and everything else on the Batman just ruined it for me. As you can see though, the Green Lantern doesn't have that problem. So really what you're ending up getting is, if you ask me, one of the best, did I just say best? One of the best Green Lantern figures that I have ever seen. Now the camera, at least looking through the viewfinder here, the camera almost makes the skin look a little more yellowish than what it really is. It's not. It is a pretty good flesh color. It's a little tanned. I love this metallic that they put in the actual mask here. He's got a very subtle, yet very satisfying sculpt in his face. I just like the mouth the way it is. There's not too much going on with it. The hair is a fantastic sculpt. I don't know if I got a little bit of paint that's come off there. I don't know what's going on. But yes, the hair is definitely a fantastic sculpt as well. I also like too that the Green Lantern emblem is actually raised as well. It's not just flat to the chest. Once again, mentioning there are the panel lines on his shoulder, almost indicating it more like armor than that of just a latex suit. You may or may not be able to gauge it as well, but aside from the metallic in the green, there seems to be a little bit of a glitter flux. A little bit of glitter speckling going on there in the black. I'm not sure it necessarily needed it, but I think the camera is making it almost more glittery than what it really is. Take this reviewer's opinion though, or as it is. The glitter actually doesn't look too jarring in person. Aside from that, he does have the metallic in the bottom boots there. He almost has like a metallic, I don't know what you want to describe it as. He's got a metallic white, it's almost like a pearl color in his gloves. Normally it may look a little off, but the fact that the rest of the figure has this metallic on the green, it works pretty good. Zooming into the ring though, whoa, how about enough that we can actually see Spot? I apologize. Let's try that again. Unfortunately, the ring is once again just a blob. A metallic green blob, but a blob nonetheless. I really, if anything, can be said for the new 52 figures from DC Direct. Once again, going back to the Batman, the sculpts on the actual bodies are really good. Even if the lining and everything else they've done here is a disaster, the sculpt on the actual body is pretty good indeed. And in fact, it works even better for Green Lantern. They've given him this sleek, muscular body. It works really, really well. And whereas the Batman wasn't a bad figure, I think definitely Green Lantern is fantastic. Accessories would be nice, of course. A stand would have been nice, of course, to offset what we are paying for these. But if you really ask me, at the end of the day, this is probably, in my opinion, again, one of the best Green Lantern figures I have ever seen, and something I am so very glad that I picked up. In the way of Green Lantern's articulation, he does have, as you have seen already, a ball-jointed head, so you can get quite a bit of movement out of it. He has hinged shoulders, which rotate all the way around. He has, sadly, only a bend in the elbow. Nothing in the wrists, or nothing in the gloves, nothing in the waist, due likely to the sculpt here. And then as for the legs, a hinge back and forth, a hinge in the knee, and nothing in the boots. Even maybe a stand, something that you could have had Green Lantern, kind of floating or, pretending to float, of course, in the sky. That would have been neat as well. Just get him to stand properly here. Yes, definitely by far, this is one figure I'm very, very happy to have picked up. And even as an action figure, he looks good. As just an art piece on your shelf, he definitely hits one out of the park. DC Direct, I think of these figures so far that I've reviewed, and I haven't picked up many. Truthfully, again, Spot hasn't picked up many, but I'm very happy to have picked up Green Lantern. I think the only few gripes I could make about the figure, if anything, He's a little limited articulation. Maybe a rotation in the wrist would have been nice. And possibly maybe even a display stand. But I can't find fault with the actual figure as a whole. They definitely did a fantastic job. The Green Lantern from the new 52, I'm going to give him a very solid 9.5. If you can find him, and you don't mind shelling out about $24 for the figure itself, and you are a Green Lantern fan, if you ask me, this is a must-have. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the DC Direct, the new 52 Justice League Green Lantern. Definitely a must-have. Thanks for watching, as you always do, guys. By all means, let me know down below if you had a chance to pick up this figure, or even just your thoughts of the figure as a whole. Certainly stick around. More Toy Spots are definitely heading your way. See you next time.